So now let me share a little bit about the opportunities and the time frame. So some of you might now ask, so chef, tell me, how long does it take to become an executive chef? Of course, this is not so easy to answer, yeah. But I can tell you I can speak only from my experience. You know, I started when I was 16 years old. I was a trainee, very young. I was a teenager. I was a rookie. I was green behind my ears. I didn't know nothing about professional kitchens, okay? I knew how to peel potatoes and carrots, and I knew how to make a cheesecake because I did this at home with my mom all the time. I had no clue about professional kitchens. So when did I become executive chef? I think that was when I was 32 years old. So you can do the math. It took me 16 long years to go through all that levels. Yeah, and actually the diagram you just saw, again, this is just it's a good example, but you know, in other kitchens you have lower hierarchies or more flatter hierarchies, you know, not all position you have to go through. It really depends on your skill, it depends on your attitude, on your willpower, and also you need luck. You need to know the right people, you know, so many things can happen in the hospitality industry. For my part, I always looked that I promote myself to the next higher position. What does it mean? What do I mean by that, promoting myself? Because you might say, hey Marcel, that's nonsense. How can you promote yourself? The only person who can promote you is your boss. Yeah, technically that's right. But what I mean by that is that when I, for example, finished a contract or I resigned, then I made sure that the next position I apply for is a higher position than the one before. So for example, at the time, 20 years ago or 22 years ago, when I worked in Switzerland as a demi-chef de partie, remember the demi-chef de partie is kind of a semi-supervisor, okay? When I quit that job there as a demi-chef, I made sure that the next position is a chef de partie, so the real kitchen supervisor. That's what I wanted, okay? So you also have to have the drive and the will to make career and to go up, yeah? It depends largely on your attitude. And then from chef de partie, I became a sous chef basically. So it took me, in my career, when you really study it, I advanced very fast. Why? Not because I am the most talented chef. No, that's bollocks, you know. Because I wanted it to happen. I wanted to make career. I wanted to go up the ladder as fast as possible. But still it took me 16 years until I was eventually leading a kitchen team. Yeah, and it depends on the people who you know. If you have a great network, if you know a lot of people, you know, then this also is very important. You will. That's why it is my advice to you that you start building your network as soon as possible. Yeah, because you never know. And especially in our industry, in the hospitality industry, I can tell you the world is very small. Yeah, and I can tell you from experience because I worked in 14 different countries on 5 continents. Yeah, you hear it rightly, on 5 different continents I worked. And I can tell you, don't make the mistake that when you had a bad time somewhere and you had to resign or you got kicked out, which also can happen, which we of course are not hoping that this will be ever the case, but you will meet people again on different continents, you know. So the world is very, very small, and people know people who know people, you know, and word of mouth is spreading. So you have to be very careful with this, you know. Don't mess up too much because the word is spreading very fast. The world is very small, especially the culinary world. And you will depend on your network in the future if you want to make career. You can see that right now. Yeah, we are now in 2022 when I record this video, and now the situation has changed. You know why? Because of this crisis we had. It started 2 years ago, and also the hospitality industry had to reorganize itself. There are less jobs available now. I'm currently here in Asia, and I can tell you that all the open positions, especially the executive chef positions, they are being dealt beneath the table, under the table. Yeah, nothing is really advertised anymore like it used to be. If you have no network, forget it. Yeah, it is very difficult and more difficult to obtain a job. I can just speak now for my position, the executive chef position. So these are basically the factors which there is no real timeline. I cannot tell you you have to work 2 years as a chef de partie, then 2 years as a sous chef, and then you become an executive chef. Actually, this is what I did. You know, I worked each position 1 or 2 years max. I told you I wanted to be fast, and it's possible, you know, but you have to also make sure that you don't work that you don't spend too little time in one position. You know, if you only have like 6 months as a chef de partie and then 6 months as a sous chef, it can be tricky, you know, because you need to have a certain level of experience also for the boss, your new boss or the new general manager or the new owner, for him or her to see that you really have the relevant experience. You know, if you only worked 5 years in a few kitchens and then you apply for an executive chef position, I think you're not credible, because people are not stupid. Everybody who works in the hotel industry, they have experience and they work their way up the hard way, most of them. And you cannot fool these people. So make sure you have a stable career. I suggest, therefore, work each position, 1 or 2 years, okay? That's what I did and worked out. And if you want to spend a little bit more in one position because you still feel that you need to learn more or it will help your confidence, then this is absolutely okay. But it is possible, like in my case, to jump up the ladder within 10 years. Of course, I know people who were really fast, you know, but there were really talented people also, you know, and they raced through the ranks, you know, they became already executive chef when they were 25 or 27, okay? But my last advice is, don't spend or even waste too much time in one position. Yeah, of course, it all depends on your goals, on your aspirations. But if you really want to make career, if you want to get to the top, you have to make sure you balance it. Like I said, you know, make sure you have some decent, solid experience on one level, but don't waste too much time. Don't work, for example, 6, 7, 8 years as a demi-chef. That's a waste of time. If you are happy with that position and you don't want to make career, if you don't want to earn more money, if you don't want to take responsibility, then stay a demi-chef, no issue, or stay a commis, or stay a chef de partie, because we need these people also, you know. No kitchen can run without a proper demi-chef or a proper commis or proper chef de partie, right? All these positions in the entire context of any professional kitchens are very important. Yeah, please don't misunderstand me here. But if you want to make career, you have to look after yourself, okay? But I'm pretty sure if you have the drive to get to the top, if you really want to make career, then you have a different attitude anyway. And yeah, that's what I said earlier. It really, actually, at the end, it really depends only on yourself. You know, if you really want to get to the top, you will. That should be your driving, and that actually is your driving, motivating force. Yeah, I know people who never visited a culinary school, who never were even an apprentice or a kitchen trainee. Yeah, I know, like my ex-boss in America. Yeah, my mentor, Chef Larry, He told me his story. When he entered the kitchen life, he was a nobody. He actually graduated from art school. Yeah, he wanted to do something completely different, and then somehow he financed his life with some stewarding jobs, and then so this is how he entered kitchen life, and he worked his way up as a complete stranger, a complete nobody. He never had a degree. He never was an apprentice or anything. He just worked his way up by his sheer will, commitment, dedication, and determination, and perseverance and persistence. You know, these are the characteristics and the attributes who really will push you to the top, and not some boss or general manager who likes you so much and therefore will promote you. Forget about this. At the end of the day, it's all in your hands. So good luck with that, and I hope you could learn something here and I could clarify these very important things.